Hello viewers, welcome to another news hour on Jamano Media and Products. We first begin with our headline. Akita's lawyer says frozen asset belongs to his wife. CDA Jata says incompetent leader never wants competent people. Guaranteed Trust Bank staff charged with fraudulent false accounting. Those were the headlines. We now have the news in detail. Lawyer Sirif Tambedu, representing Banta Keita, the man suspected of importing tons of cocaine into the country last year, has urged that a house in Fajara, which is among Keita's assets frozen by the state, actually belongs to his wife, Dulcie Montero. Banta Keita, still at large, is charged with 9 counts ranging from money laundering to drug trafficking, alongside his business counterpart Sirif Njai, who is charged with drug trafficking. Testifying before the court, a drug law enforcement agency officer, Jatibo Sambu, said as part of the investigation panel on the alleged drug traffickers, he was assigned to take the cautionary statement of Sirif Njai, who was arrested as he tried to clear the cocaine at the seaport. Sambu told the court that 118 bags of suspected drug substances were recovered at the port and a primary test was done on them at the drug law enforcement agency scientific unit, which confirmed them to be cocaine. He said during the investigations, Sirif Njai confessed that Banta asked him to join a sugar importing business, and that is how the containers came into his name. Sirif called Banta at the port when they were counting the bags and told him about the events, and the phone was on speaker. Banta responded to him that he will come to the port, but a few hours later when he called him back, Banta did not respond, the drug law enforcement agency officer told the court. The witness added that during the course of their investigations, they went to one of the properties of Banta located in Fajara. He was part of the team who went to search the house, where his wife told them that Banta had traveled and some documents, including Banta's passport, were recovered to him. The investigations, the witness said. During cross-examination, defense counsel Sirif Tambedu told the witness that the house in Fajara is owned by Banta's wife, Dulcie Montero. But the witness responded that the white man who sold it to Banta Keita was himself interrogated by the agency. Tambedu further asked the witness whereabouts of a suitcase containing men's clothes that the anti-drug agency recovered from Banta's house. In response, the witness confirmed that the suitcase was recovered, but he was not part of the team that recovered the suitcase containing men's clothes. The witness, a highly experienced drug law enforcement agency officer, confirmed that he took the cautionary statement of Sirif Njai, which State Counsel El Jaju tendered as evidence. The matter was adjourned to 5th April. Veteran Gambian politician CDA Jata has informed the people of Wuli that an incompetent leader never wants competent people while on his National Assembly campaign tour in Gunjur Kuta. Mr. Jata made these remarks on Sunday, March 27, 2022 in Wuli Barokunda during a mass rally organized by the youth of Wuli West in solidarity with him following President Adama Barrow's infamous remarks against him recently. Speaking in Gunjur recently, President Barrow said he would retire CDA Jata from contesting forcefully by defeating him in this year's election. In his response to Barrow's remarks, Jata said that the actions of President Barrow in Gunjur expose his immaturity and incompetence as a leader. This particular election is very important, hence you have elected an incompetent leader who never wants competent people. And if you elect incompetent National Assembly members, then this country will no doubt fall into a ditch. They will conspire to suck your blood with a tick, Mr. Jata said. Jata said some people are just here to deceive and mislead the citizens, while sucking the blood of citizens like a tick. The veteran lawmaker added that they are desperate, that is why they only turn on people whom they feel are their threat in getting their incompetent candidates. Mr. Adama Barrow, said he is going to retire CDA Jata from politics. He is telling him that he is not that type of person capable of retiring him. He, Mr. President Adama Barrow, together with hundreds of his types, are incapable of retiring Mr. Sidia Jatta from politics. Instead, the people of Wuli are capable of doing that, Mr. Jatta proudly said. He added that only the people of Wuli can retire him from politics, urging that he is not into politics to deceive or mislead the citizenry for the sake of money or fame. He is into politics in this country for real development by contributing his quota based on the truth so that the citizens of this country can own themselves, while no one deceives or misleads them to take what belongs to them, he said. That explained that the Gambia is yet another critical stage, as there is still a leader who always aimed at defrauding citizens by referring the grants and loans offered. A leader of a country who pounds his or her chest about grants and loans is incompetent, as there is no country that develops by relying on grants and loans. Even a household that relies on grants and loans ends up perishing, such more a country. They scramble for taxpayers' equity for their personal gain, after which they go out to look for grants and loans to decorate an area to lure the citizens, Jatta indicated. The lawmaker said that there are bridges and roads now, but everyone is crying about the high cost of living in the country, though he asked for where the citizens will consume those bridges and roads to prevent starvation. Mr. Jatta said if he were president, he would develop the country without depending on grants and loans. He said in 2022 alone, the money expected in national coffers as revenue is over $25 billion as per the estimated budget. He said those responsible back the capability and technical know-how, saying all that money will sink uselessly, which will lead them to look for grants and loans. Sanyang Guarantee Trust Bank staff was on the 29th March 2022 arraigned before Magistrate Ben Fall of the Carnival Magistrate Court and charged on 2 counts of fraudulent false accounting contrary to Section 303A of the Criminal Code and stealing by clerk or servant contrary to Section 258 of the Criminal Code. Prosecutors allege that banker in the year 2020 and 2021 at Senegambia and diverse places in the Republic of the Gambia been employed by Guarantee Trust Bank Limited as head of operations, and by virtue of that position falsified leader 403 through his user ID 1504 issued to him by the bank to debit the sum of $14 million from the Brikama, Senegambia and Banjul vaults. According to the indictments, the accused in the year 2020 and 2021 at Senegambia and diverse places in the Republic of the Gambia been employed by Guarantee Trust Bank Limited as head of operations, and by virtue of that position stole the sum of $14 million, the property of Guarantee Trust Bank Limited. After the charge to him, Mr. Sanya denied any wrongdoing. Superintendent Abdi A. Mane, who was representing the Inspector General of Police, rose and said that they were not opposing bail for the accused. He asserted that the accused was granted bail at police level. He urged the court to grant the accused stiff bail condition, further noting that the amount involved is huge. He stated that the accused should also surrender his traveling documents to the registrar of the court so that he will not jump bail. Counsel Jabate, who was representing the accused, replied that the accused cooperated with the police when he was in their custody. He then urged the court to adopt their bail condition of the police. But the presiding magistrate did not pay heed to the plea of the defense counsel. She subsequently granted the accused bail. He should provide 5 Gambian sureties who should swear in an affidavit of means and deposit their ID cards with the registrar of the court. The accused was also required to produce 2 Gambians with title deeds with $10 million each, or a Gambian with a title deed with $15 million. The accused should also deposit his traveling documents with the registrar of the court. The case was adjourned to the 5th April 2022 for the prosecutor to make a lineup of his witnesses. Those were the stories for our today's newscast. Thank you for joining us with your presenter, Maria McGillen. But before we take a leave of you, let's take a recap on our top stories. Banta Keita's lawyer says frozen asset belongs to his wife. Sidia Jata says incompetent leader never wants competent people. Guaranteed Trust Bank staff charged with fraudulent false accounting. Those were the stories. Thank you for joining us.